My News 26 and CCTV. It's high school hockey, coming to you from the Wex in Cadillac. This 26 Sports and CCTV high school hockey presentation is presented by Cadillac Casting Incorporated.
All right, welcome everybody to the opening lineups here from the Wex and Cadillac. Bill Dooley along with Eric Sharp on a Friday night as the Mattawan Wildcats will be facing off against the Cadillac Vikings. We are just about ready to roll here, and we have a special edition tonight as a 20-year tribute. And now we are ready for our national anthem.
Please stand and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
All right, a beautiful rendition of our national anthem, and we're just about ready to get underway. Eric, how are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. How about you, Bill?
Great. Excited to be here tonight, and we will be visiting with some of the former Cadillac players as the night goes on. And I want to get real quick here, Eric, with the Mattawan Wildcats. The starting goaltender tonight is going to be Brendan Pellerito. The captains for Mattawan is Schaefer Moore, Brad Kalinsky, and Jake Kruzich. The head coach for Mattawan is Mike May. Assistants Matt Karsten and Chris Cooey.
And Karsten is a Cadillac boy.
What's that?
He's from Cadillac. Oh, sorry, Bill.
That's right. Get that
Matt
up there.
Karsten's from Cadillac.
Well, that's right, and there's also Karstens from where I came from up in the Posen Rogers City area. Lots of Karstens up there. Cadillac starting goaltender tonight is going to be Carter Fosmore, the senior, and they are looking for a victory here. They had a pretty good game against TC West the other night, dropped a tough one 4-1, but talking to the boys before the game, they're fired up, looking to face off against this non-conference team that they don't get to see very often.
Now it's a long way to travel. Is Mattawan, are they in the area for another game tomorrow, or?
Yep, they'll be playing Big Rapids tomorrow night. Okay.
Makes sense.
We are underway here as Derek Tonello, number 14 for the Vikings, takes it into the zone. Tonello, checked there by big number 22. Puck comes out to Mattawan, and they try to bring it out of the zone. Up to Sam Przuvic. He'll dump it in, and taken there is Justin Smith, number 7 for the Vikings. Up the boards, knocked down nicely by Puzovic. Tied up in the corner there. Hayden Watkins gets into it. Justin Smith behind the net. That puck is in the skates, and now taking it is Austin Pendrick. Pendrick. Backhand pass to center to Alan Shear, number 10, leading scorer on the Vikings. Shear over the line. There's a wrist shot blocked by number 16. Goes into the corner. Shear will pick it back up, and then it's taken by the Wildcats. Out to center, number 22, that's Zach Wiggins. Zach will turn on a dime, put it towards the net. Into the corner, racing after is Tyler Anderson, number 6. Tied up there by Carpenter. Referees are telling him to move the puck. And that one actually hit the referee. The Vikings backhanded up into the center ice area. Still in the zone, Anderson being checked there by Watkins. He'll dump it in behind the net. Derek Tonello fighting right in front of his bench. The Vikings finally clear the zone. That's been some good offensive pressure there by the Wildcats. And Eric, first of all, just glad to have you here on this night where we're going to be kind of looking back on 20 years of Viking hockey. We had a nice pregame interview with Coach Scott Graham and Coach Tom Mueller. That was really fun getting to reminisce a little bit with those guys.
To say I was never able to play for Coach Mueller. By the time I came around, he was already retired from the coaching ranks. But he always coaches our alumni team, and we have a blast with him.
Yeah, he was in 1998 to 2004 he was here. There's a big hit down there. Jack Schmidtdale, number 19, that is Zach Swintz. Now over the line, that's Leotard, and holding on to it is Pellerino. And there'll be a face-off deep in the zone. Eric, what years did you play?
I played, let me see, 03 to 05 was so my junior and senior years.
And you were listed as a goalie the first year and then defense the second year, right?
Yeah, played a little bit everywhere my second year. Played goalie my first year, and Sean Beeger had broken his leg, so we kind of needed somebody.
Oh, yeah. Big hit there. Going down is Brian Geiger for the Vikings. Now Jack Schmidtdale, number 11, off the skates of Pendrick, deep into the corner. Pendrick turns with it, a good move there. Up the boards, reading it well, though, and keeping it in is Joe Peterson. Now 3-on-1 for the Wildcats. A shot. Nice save there with the blocker. Vikings will turn out with it. Brian Geiger, I thought he had a really good game the other night against West. Tried to sidestep his man, and he goes down with a nice check. Just starting here from the Wex, the Wildcats, and coming back is Brendan Phillips. He introduced him to the boards right in front of the bench for Mattawan. I kind of like the hitting so far. Some good body checks there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure with Cadillac kind of being hemmed in their zone if they were going to kind of go back into a shell, but a hit like that will fire up the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the highlights you remember from your playing years, Eric?
Well, I had a shutout down in Midland. That was pretty cool.
Wow.
Shutout Midland Dow.
Yeah, they're a powerhouse team.
They were not a powerhouse team when I played them.
Okay, here we go. Derek Tonello on the outside trying to go his man. He takes a little bit of stick there, gets it back towards Shear. Tonello again with it, being checked. Hayden Watkins over to Carpenter. Carpenter just tried to get that shot through, and it was blocked. Massive players down there. The Vikings have it again. That's Alan Shear on his backhand. Takes a whack, going around the net. Back to the point to Smith. Justin Smith over to Carpenter. Carpenter. That one was blocked by Puzvik. Shear chops it in behind the net. Tonello tried to get it out front. Now this time he centers it. Wow, it scores! The Vikings!
Kind of a broken play right there, Bill. It just squirted out in front. Tonello did a good job. Fought off a check there, sent it out in front. And ends up in the back of the net.
You have to give them credit for the persistence, Eric. I mean, the puck was almost brought out a couple times, and that line just worked really hard.
Well, they had the shot block out here right on the near side point, or I guess near side for us. And that could have easily gotten out, but he threw it across, and nobody was there, luckily, and it just ended up behind the net. And Snello did a great job putting that out in front.
All right, the Vikings get that important first goal. They get some momentum. Flipped out to center by Pendrick. Into the zone, number 23 with a shot high off the glass. Jake Kurzic, one of the captains in the corner, takes a hit. Peterson with a bouncing shot wide of the net. Coming out with it is Alex Leotard, number 2. Leotard, boy, that's a big defenseman there, number 9. That's Nico Stamas.
I feel like he's not from America.
Well,
Nico Stamas, he sounds like the hot Swedish exchange student that came over, and he's going to lead the team to the promised land.
Mattawan tries to center it. It goes a little bit too far. We got an icing call here. And talking about that team, Eric, back when you were playing, what were some of the highlights of that season or couple seasons?
I remember beating Traverse City West here for our final, or Traverse City Central for our final home game as seniors. Nate Peterson scored in overtime.
Wow.
And it was a huge thing. I mean, the place went bonkers. We had a great student section, and it was a packed house. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Dan Wilson did a great job of organizing a student section, and that's why over in the corner you see the stands over there. They built that our senior year because we had a lot of kids coming, and it was neat because they kind of got behind us and we got behind them.
Nice fake there by Shear as he steps over the line, cuts back, and it's tipped away, kept in. Yes, good call by the referee. Thought it might be out. Now the Vikings will have to regroup.
Smart play there. Just it was kind of getting broken up there. Put it back to your defenseman.
Alan Shear with a rising shot, and it drops down, but Pellerito will hold on to it. It's 1-0 Vikings with 11:30 to go. And we want to get Kirk Foster on the headset here, Eric. We'll get you right back here in a second, but let's get Kirk mic'd up here.
All right.
All right, Kirk.
Hey, Bill.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, good to be here.
All right, what'd you think of that first goal by the Vikings?
That was pretty nice there. Nice passing. Jumping all over them. At the start of the game, it didn't really seem like either team really could find its footing. Cadillac seems to be getting the upper hand right now. They have a lot more pep in their step than they did earlier in the week.
I agree. Puck goes deep into the Vikings zone. Justin Smith will chase that one down and reverse it for Brandon Eller. Eller, number 17, up the boards. Gets through that check. Mattawan will put it right back in. Chasing after it was number 25, Brandon Shaw, and he goes down. And I think we might have a interference call here, Kirk.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that one.
So Chow goes down, and that'll put, I think, number 7, Justin Smith, will go into the box for interference. And Kirk, when did you play? What years?
I started playing in 99, 2000. Would have been my first year.
And that was the second year of Cadillac having a team, so we call that the early years.
They were some lean years for sure, Bill.
Oh, yeah. New program. Here's a play out in front of the net. Nice defensive job there by Ian Lilly. Mattawan now on the power play. Back to the point. I'm trying to get a number there, Kurt. Oh, that's number 8. Okay, that's Brad Kalinsky, one of the captains. In the corner now trying to come out front. Puck is sent back to Kalinsky, number 8. Kalinsky over on this side there to Wiggins.
Cadillac seems to be doing a good job keeping them on the outside.
Yeah, they got that diamond set up, and now Kalinsky kind of dances along the blue line. He'll give it back to Wiggins. Trying to get a piece of him was Pendrick. Back to Kalinsky. Now to Wiggins. Vikings doing a great job of just moving that box around a little bit. Intercepted now by Hayden Watkins, and he'll fire it out, and the Vikings will look for a change with a minute to go in the power play.
That was a very good kill on the first shift out there. Very good. Kept him to the outside, didn't allow any shots. It was well done.
Vikings intercepted it momentarily, and coming back with it is Jake Kruzich, number 10. Back to the point, good play over to Kalinsky, but the Vikings, they got a little bit of a break here. Here comes Alex Leotard, number 2. He's got Shear with him. Leotard down the side there, shot, just over the short side in the crossbar. Good opportunity by the Vikings. Gavin Foster's got to get rid of that in a hurry, and luckily they got a delayed offside, and they're going to go for a change. So far, Kirk, the best scoring opportunity has been by the Vikings, shorthanded.
This has been a great penalty kill, Bill. They have not allowed Mattawan to set up and really do anything. I mean, they good pressure. They haven't been. This is the first time they come into the zone cleanly, even.
All right, we've got just a couple seconds left in the power play for the Wildcats. Number 9 is Nico Stamas. Down low, there's a shot, goes high up in the air, bouncing around. The penalty is over, and the Vikings send out a long pass there trying to hit Tonello. 1-0 here with 8:40 to go in the first period. We have Kirk Foster with us in the booth, and so happy to have him as one of our former players to help us celebrate the 20-year tribute to the Cadillac Viking program.
Hard to believe it's been 20 years already, Bill, that they've been around.
Yeah, that's really, it's still a young program, Kirk. When you think about all the other teams that have been around, maybe 30 years or so, some of the downstate teams.
Oh, and when we first started, Bill, I mean, we jumped right into the Big North. You had both Traverse City teams. You had Alpena, you had the Sioux. I mean, we're talking the powerhouses of the state.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a rude awakening for us coming into that kind of a setting.
Number 19, Zach Swintz for the Mattawan Wildcats will go in for interference. So now we'll take a look and see how the Viking power play looks.
Well, if it's anything like the penalty kill, we're off to a good start. See if we can build off that momentum.
They've got Hayden Watkins, Alan Shear, back to Austin Pendrick. Pendrick over to Justin Smith. Now in the corner to Alex Leotard. Back to Smith. Justin Smith being watched there closely by Wiggins. Puck goes back towards the blue line, so Austin Pendrick will chase after it. Pendrick over to Shear. Shear trying to move in. Good job by the Wildcats to keep that box going and kind of fluid. Now they're going to switch it up a little. Both teams, Kirk, kind of the same thing, just kind of passing around the perimeter.
They really
in
are.
The early going here. There's an easy one for Pellerito. He makes a save.
Nice, at least we had a little guy in front to try to get some screen there. If you try to get some more buys in front when we get the shot to the net, it would be nice.
So thinking back in the years, you had Tommy Mueller was your goalie.
And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a very good thing.
Tommy's going to be here tonight.
I heard that.
Yeah, so we're gonna get him up in the booth. But some of the saves and the amount of saves, Kirk, over the years, it's almost insane when you see that, the numbers.
There were times, Bill, where they didn't need to resurface the other team's end of the ice. That's for sure. It was we hemmed them in our own zone, kept them from on-man rushes, I guess.
I like that. That's a different perspective. Vikings get it over to Austin Pendrick. That one is tipped away with him. Smith will come in. That one goes all the way through, but standing his ground was Pellerito. There's a little pushing match there between Kolinsky and Hayden Watkins. Who was the kind of the big guns scoring-wise on your team?
Well, our big guys, you had Evan Godfrey, you had Buddy Dashkovitz, Reggie Schwering. Those were the guys that really put up the points for us. That was our main thing. I mean, those were the guys who we counted on. Nobody else really had much talent at that point.
Well, you guys had 10. It was just hard coming in on a new program, and Vikings fighting hard for it.
We definitely weren't ready for the step up in competition.
Yeah.
It was an eye-opener.
There's a shot just wide center, and he plant, and saved by Pellerito. Good job there as big Zach Izzard tried to jam home the rebound.
Boy, I tell you, Bill, we were getting this power play starting to get some good shots, get some movement towards the net.
And just get it to the front.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they need to do right now, especially when you've got number 9, Zach Izzard, and he's like a mini RJ Seahays when you look out there.
And on that first goal, the goalie really from Mattawan did not look too sure. It wasn't that great of a shot, and he kind of looked handcuffed by it. I think
it was a changeup
shot. And
there
there was a second long shot that he struggled handling the rebound. I think if we can just get some pucks on net, good things are going to happen for Cadillac.
The Vikings have 14 seconds to go in the power play. That one is intercepted by Kolinsky, and he'll put it down the ice, so that will take care of the remainder of the power play. The Vikings lead here 1-0 over the Mattawan Wildcats. You are watching high school hockey on 26 Sports and CCTV. Kirk Foster is joining us up here in the booth. Kirk was with the team in the 1999 to 2002 season. His brother Todd, who can't be here tonight, he's up at a district tournament with the boys. There's a shot knocked away by Fosmore. Almost a hook there, but good job by that was Ian Munch to finish his check.
And it was neat, Bill. I did get to play 1 year with my brother, and that was a fun time. There's one game I remember specifically. We were playing in Petoskey. Coach put us both on the same line, and we got to battle down in the corner, got to rough some people up, and it was the only year that I ever got to play with my brother, so that was a special time for me.
That's pretty cool. Love to hear that, Kirk. Brother, there's just something about getting on the ice with your brother at the same time. Not too many people get that luxury to have that happen.
No, I feel blessed that it worked out the way it did.
All right, coming out with it real quickly here are the Wildcats. They'll dump it in the zone. We've got 5 minutes to go here in the first period. 1-0, the Vikings with the lead. Brian Geiger for the Vikings will give it over to Brandon Eller, number 17, Eller. Here's Jacob Kasprak with a backhand shot wide of the net. Up the boards. Smith will keep it in with a good pass over to Eller. Eller dumps it in the middle, in the slot area, and that's taken by number 6. That's Tyler Anderson. Anderson takes a big check at center ice by Brandon Eller. Crowd loves that, especially the students. Jacob Kasprak will backhand it into the zone. Going down hard was Tyler Anderson. We got bodies flying all over.
He took himself out there, Bill.
Yes, he did. Now coming right up the middle of the ice with a long pass, hitting the skates of Wiggins, and then he's drilled by Austin Pendrick.
Physicality is definitely picking up.
It's actually it's very entertaining when you get the hitting going early in a game because it just adds to that intensity.
It
Gets
does.
the crowd
it shows
into
the emotions of the players.
Now out to center, taking it is Wiggins. Wiggins cutting over the line. There's a wrist shot and a good save by Carter Fosmore and a little bit of a screen shot. Brendan Phillips gets checked. Number 18, that's Alex Mattawan. Centers it out just out of the reach of Sam Puzivic. And covered up there by Pellerito with 3:30 to go here in the first period. Kirk, we want to thank you for joining us up in the booth, and maybe when you go down you can find the next player, the next victim, so to speak, and send him up here.
I think I saw Kevin Gerard standing down there. So
all right.
I'll send him on up. Thanks for having me, Bill.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kirk. We'll see you after the game. All right. Back to the point. Losing that, but going down. Nice job there. It caused a little interference. Gavin Foster, number 3. Turns on a dime. Foster is checked by Kruzic. And Jack Schmidtdale, number 11, takes it, but he gives it right back to Kruzic, the captain. Working hard along the boards. Oh, there's a big hit, but not going down. Scored! Wildcats. I was watching the hit, Eric. I didn't even hardly see what happened there.
The puck kind of squirted right into the slot, and nobody was on the Mattawan player, and just fired one right along the ice. Kind of hit off the post and went right in.
I think the element of surprise caught Carter Fosmore a little off guard there, too.
Yeah, you don't expect that puck to come through, and when it does, all of a sudden you're kind of caught in no man's land.
So the Wildcats tie it up here with 3:04 to go here in the first period. Trying to get back a little momentum here.
It looked like, from while I was down watching next to the bench, it looked like Mattawan was carrying a lot of the play to Cadillac.
They were, but then the Vikings got the power play. They had some good opportunities on the power play, and it's been a little bit of ebb and flow here so far in the first period. Pass out to center. Taking it is Ian Munch. He's got the other Ian with him, Lilly, and snagging that one is Pellerito. He'll hold on to it with 2:40 to go in the period. Eric, we had some of the classic jerseys hanging up behind us during the interview.
Well done.
Yeah. I know your favorite was the gold, white, and blue one.
Yeah, the one I wore had the Viking head like they do now, and quite fond of those.
Yeah. Puck stays right there in the circle. I think it was underneath a Cadillac player. Finally, it's dug loose. Right in front of the bench, Alex Leotard. That puck bounces over the line to Ian Munch, number 4, one of the captains. He'll shoot, and a nice save there. And, Eric, we want to get Kevin Gerard here. I believe that's who we got here.
All right, stepping aside.
Just for a second. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin. Good to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me. You guys have good seats up here.
Yeah, we actually do. We don't have to pay for these. We get them for free.
Not bad.
Kevin, we're watching the Vikings here as a 1-1 game, and have you had a chance to be back and see some games? Has it been a while?
You know, it has been a while. I was able to play in the alumni game last year. That was a good time. Got to see a lot of familiar faces, but I haven't actually been to a high school game down here in a while. So,
I think there'll be some of your former teammates. You'll probably get a chance to see them here tonight as they show up at the rink. You played in the very first season, right, in 1998.
Yeah, that's right. I got a message from Marty Crandall earlier this week, and he let me know it's been 20 years. I almost fell out of the seat I wasn't sitting in at that point. It's hard to believe it's been 2 decades.
What position? Were you forward or defense?
Nope, I played defense.
Played defense, okay. And were you that first year a junior?
No, I was a sophomore that year.
Sophomore, okay. Yep. Breaking into the team as a sophomore.
Yeah, there was quite a few of us that year. Core group of guys that were all around the same age. We've been playing for Tom Mueller for quite a few years, and that was a big chunk of that first team.
Puck is played out into the center ice area. Dumping it back in the zone. There's a pass up the left wing. Number 7, that was Lucas Slager. He dumps in behind the Viking net to Justin Smith. Goes past him, so Tonella will put it back to David Carpenter, number 16. Carpenter over to Smith. Smith up the boards to Alan Shear. Shear tried to make a move, but a good poke check there by number 17, Jason Moreau. And Kolinsky, number 8, will take it behind his net. We got a minute to go here in the first period, and intercepted by Alan Shear. Alan Shear trying to make a save, and it goes up into the netting. And Kevin, just looking at the roster here from that first year, how many of these players do you keep in contact with, or not too many?
Oh, boy. I haven't seen a few of these names in quite a while. I actually ran into Dan Hodson last year up at a pond hockey tournament in St. Ignace.
No kidding.
Yep, so that was a good time. I had no idea he was going to be there. Just walked into the bar, and he was standing there looking at me. So kind of funny to bump into him like that.
What do you remember as like one of the big memories or fun things or something that happened in that first year?
Probably the very first home game we had. We were playing Traverse City West. It was a tight game the whole way down, and came down to the last few seconds. And my buddy Dan Hodson, who I just mentioned, ended up scoring, poking one in with about 2 to 3 seconds left in the game to tie it up at 2, and went into OT and ended up a tie. But I remember the house was packed. It was the very first high school hockey game there was, and there were just hundreds of people here going crazy. So that was probably my biggest memory.
That has got to be just send chills, just thinking about it. Your description of it, boy, that is something, especially Traverse City West. Big hit there right in front of the bench. Coming up with it is Stamos, and then fanning on it on the one time. Beautiful setup by Nico Stamos. And we got a high stick call.
That fan helped us out there.
Yes, he did. So it looks like it's going to be Jacob Kaspriak, number 15, going into the bench with 4.6 seconds to go. So obviously this power play will most likely carry over into the second period. So you had that big game against Traverse City West. I know you guys didn't win too many games that year, but you guys were a brand new team, and you were battling. You had Tommy Mueller, your goalie.
Great goaltender. Thank God for him, because he faced ungodly amount of shots that year. It wasn't unusual for him to face 60 shots a game. And he'd stand on his head the whole time.
All right, the buzzer goes there to end the first period with the Cadillac Vikings 1 and the Mattawan Wildcats 1. And Kevin, we want to thank you for coming up here and talk to us. We will see you after the game with a bunch of the other players, all right?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Bill. Appreciate it.
All right. We will be back in just a moment. You are watching high school hockey on 26 Sports and CCTV with Eric Sharp and Bill Dooley, and we'll be ready for the puck drop in the second period. Stay tuned.